Good afternoon, folks. It's time for me to say goodbye to old Skully here. We've had a good time together the last week or so. But do allow me to share some pros and cons on the helmet and my general experience that I've had. The helmet ships with 6 of these little modular pads that you can insert inside the helmet, either on the top part or around the bottom part of your head, to make the helmet fit nice and snug. Not everyone has the perfect head, and this will really help you out. Oh, I didn't have to use them, of course. Then, because of the technology inside the helmet and for Skully to speak to you, you need to charge this sucker up. Normal or standard USB interface, but the adapter is American, so you'd have to get yourself a converter that converts this to the South African plug system, or you can use your phone charger, but your phone charger only outputs 0.5 amps. This is a 2 amp charger, so it'll be a lot quicker. Or take a week to charge your helmet up with your phone charger, of course. As far as the helmet's concerned, I went out for a ride in heavy coastal wind last week, and I thought, 2 things are going to stand out. Number one is I'm going to have a lot of noise inside the helmet, and my head's going to shake all over the place, and it'll look like I'm listening to heavy music. It wasn't the case. Skully really surprised me there with regards to the low noise I had inside the helmet, really that low that I didn't have to wear any earplugs in that wind. The stability of the helmet, very dynamic, and also I didn't have any head shake. So I saw one car for one car, and I didn't see 3 of them where I should have seen only 1. So no helmet shake and very, very low wind noise inside the helmet. Let's get into the helmet itself. Last week I told you quickly that it has a rear view camera, and that gives you a good 180-degree view of what's happening behind you, and all of that is displayed on the little unit in the front. I'll show you this now. 3 LEDs here, that gives you an idea of the charge of the helmet and your Bluetooth connectivity and so on. And as far as the stability is concerned, where it comes from is the aerodynamics of the helmet itself. This little scoop here, not all of that. Then these little air ducts you have on the side really helps with keeping the helmet stable. And that's where I think it comes from. And I had a very good experience as far as the riding in the wind was concerned. So I'm really impressed with that. Full carbon fiber shell. So it's a light helmet considering all the technology that's in it. Then your rear facing camera displays whatever it sees in the back in this little unit here. And you can see it quite clear. Once you've downloaded the app for Skully on your phone, you pair your helmet with your phone, and you can set certain things up like kilometers per hour, miles per hour, and so on, and also choose modes so that it can keep the image straight in this little unit. If you're in a sports riding mode, you choose that mode, and it adjusts the image so that it's nice and straight. Or you're in an upright position in a touring bike or so, again, you change that mode and you have a perfectly square image inside this unit. Furthermore, it can move forward and backwards. Let me show you from the side. It moves forward and backwards, and also up and down, so that you can have it adjusted to fit your eyeball perfectly. Some people might have an eyeball a little bit lower in the face than normal, and you can really adjust that unit accordingly. One thing I would have liked on the helmet, seeing that we have a rear-facing camera, is to have one integrated on the front as well. So come on, Skully, we need a dash cam. You have the technology. Just give us a little camera right in the front there, please, and don't increase the price because of it. So that'll be a nice touch for them. Visor, nice and clear. It does come with an optional E-tint visor that tints in sunlight, or it clears in low light automatically. Because it doesn't come with the integrated tinted visor or sun visor like some helmets do. So that'll be quite a nice thing if you do decide to buy a helmet like this, is to get the optional E-tint visor as well. It's definitely a must in my book. Then at the bottom of the helmet, you'll see 2 little red tags there. Paramedics, please take notes. This is a safety feature. If you get a guy and he's wearing a Skully, those 2 tags can be pulled and you remove the cheek pads, and you can then get the guys or the rider's head out quite easily. So that's a nice safety feature from Skully. Guys, that's about it. As far as the Skully itself inside the helmet is concerned, I found it in some ways a little lacking. You can play music from the phone through the app with Spotify, or you can play music directly from your phone. If you do decide to play Spotify, obviously you need to make sure you have enough data on your phone to do that. Every time you want something done, in other words, answer a phone call or ignore a phone call, or volume up, volume down, and tell Skully to take you to work or take you to home, yes, the list is quite limiting at this point, and I'm very confident that Skully will work on that list as time goes by. You have to give Skully a voice command, and that is, okay, Skully. He will then respond, if your command was clear enough, with a yes. And at that point, you would then give him the command. Answer phone, volume up, volume down, take me home, take me to work. And if your command wasn't clear enough, he would say to you after about 3 seconds, I do not understand. And you have to repeat the process right from the beginning. Okay, Skully, wait for the yes after a second, and then give him the command again. So the learning curve would be from you, not from Skully. He's a stubborn little sucker. So I'm sure that, again, as time goes by, the manufacturers will work on that to make Skully more responsive on these type of commands. Because it's quite difficult to round your words when you have your cheeks pushed inside a helmet. All right, as far as the GPS is concerned, navigation is concerned, yes, through the Skully app, you can plot a route similar to what you would do with Google Maps, although Google Maps is a few steps ahead of Skully on this one. But you can plot a route from work or wherever the case may be. You can plot your route, and Skully will then, through voice commands and the little display inside there, show you the distance you have to travel before the next turn off or change in direction, all with the voice command and a little visual guide on that display unit. That's quite nifty. I did find that the Skully unit, the navigation, was about 20 meters off compared to that of Google Maps. Yes, I ran the two of them side by side just to make sure that, or to check the accuracy of the navigational system. So about a 20 meters difference between the two. And it wasn't speed related, it's just there was about a 20-meter difference between the two at a speed of about 80 kilometers an hour or so. Another thing I found as well was the speed that it shows you on the display if you're riding, and when you get to about 70 or 65 kilometers an hour, the speed display will zero. In other words, 65 kilometers an hour, it'll show zero, as if you're stationary. Not that I would want to look at what speed I'm doing on a small little display if I have my display on the front of my bike in any case, but it's something I just picked up. At 65 kilometers an hour, the display will zero your speed, but you're actually still moving. So that's maybe something they need to look at as well. Like I mentioned, the noise low, the aerodynamics of the helmet, fantastic. The overall quality of the helmet, fantastic. The mechanism of the visor opening and closing, very solid and rigid. There's nothing cheap on this helmet. Improvements, most definitely, like on anything, but there's nothing cheap on this in this helmet. The price, you might have seen that already on the Skully websites. It's or some other retailers, international retailers. It retails for $1899. So you can do the math as to what it might cost you when it gets into the country. Add some tax there as well, import tax, and you have your helmet. Or wait for the local importer to start bringing them in. All right, guys, that's about it. Really, my experience riding on the bike with the helmet, no problem. I took 2 phone calls, and again, you have to tell Skully, okay, Skully, wait for the yes, and your phone is ringing now, and then you have to tell him, answer phone, and if your command wasn't properly executed, then you would miss that phone call because there will be no time for you to go, okay, Skully, again, wait for the yes, and then pronounce the command properly. So you've got to be good and quick for Skully to answer the phone call for you. The speaker quality, I would like to see Skully bring the speakers a little bit closer to the ear because at some points at about 80 kilometers an hour, there was no fault of Skully. I had the volume on my phone for phone call sets midway, and at 80 kilometers an hour I lost audio, and then I maximized the volume on my phone and I could hear quite clear at about 120, 130 with 130 odd kilometers an hour, I could hear the person on the other side quite clear, and they could hear me quite clear as well. Considering the amount of wind noise that might have come into the helmet due to the conditions I was riding in. I was impressed with the helmet, and I really enjoyed testing this helmet. So guys, from my side, that's about it. I'm signing off right now, and you can decide if you want to invest in a great helmet like this, or wait a while and let them fix those issues, or stand a chance of having them fit a forward-facing camera. That'll be cool. So in the future, yes, we'll do the same again with other products. So stay tuned, please. If you have any suggestions, let me have it. Until then, have a fantastic day. Thank you for tuning in. Cheers.